We go. We are recording. Starting recording. All right, now we're recording. All right, cool.
All right.
Welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. Today we're going to do it a little bit differently on this one because Johnny decided to go see his girlfriend down in Houston because he's quote unquote in love. But going from that, this was an interesting one. We're going over the case of Casey Anthony. Basically, if you look up at Wikipedia, I looked at a couple of videos and everything. This bitch was crazy, and she was a constant liar. What had happened on this case is basically after 31 days of her child supposedly missing, she decided to call the cops. What's really messed up on this case is she got away with it.
Yeah.
The biggest problems with this one was the prosecution wasn't geared for basically an O.J. Simpson style lawyer for this case, and the lawyer basically got her off with just time served with just, I think it was just failure providing false information to law enforcement. That's what she got convicted of. And that's like a class.
Yeah, it's almost like they kind of went after her because they realized that they screwed up the investigation. It's almost like they took a page out of Elliot Ness's book, and instead of getting Al Capone on bootlegging, they got him on tax evasion.
Yeah. But this whole case, she destroyed so much. One, she killed a kid. There's no... It's basically like saying OJ killed his wife and the person, even though he wrote a book saying, if I did it. I'm surprised I haven't seen a book from Casey Anthony saying, if I drowned my child, I would do it like this. But that's only hearsay.
Well, if she does a Google search and she sees our podcast about her, she'll probably come up with the idea. So, Casey Anthony, if you're out there and you're watching and you get an idea and we see a book drop about if I did it or if you did it or whatever, what you would have done if you had killed your child, we will come after you and we will tie you up in litigation for years, sister. So you go right on ahead at us. I dare you.
Yeah. But I mean, she ruined her father's life by accusing him as sexually abusing her, which I can't really say either good or bad on that one, only because of the basic fact of we don't know that kind of history. And from what the father was acting as throughout the case and through interviews and everything, he loved his granddaughter. He loved his daughter. And she was a basic liar. So it's like, well, if you see a duck and it seems like a duck, you can't call it a horse.
No. Yeah, I mean, now, everybody in the dog knows that this woman did what she did. All the evidence pointed that way. The only reason she didn't get a needle in her arm or stuck in a gas chamber in the state of Florida is because prosecution screwed the pooch. Pure, plain and simple.
And another thing on this case was they found a duct tape. I'm not really sure if they found, because I was reading it on certain stuff and I was looking at certain evidence and everything, but they couldn't find the duct tape with like a heart shape on it. I mean, they went through her search history on her computer and she was looking up chloroform, how to make chloroform, all kinds of stuff. And even the forensics on the vehicle itself that Casey Anthony's father was like, hey, it smells like someone died in this car. And come to find out, she probably used the vehicle as a vehicle of death to basically it's just appalling, and it pisses me off every time I read anything on Casey Anthony, only because she was a shitbag and she needed to go to jail. She needed to have a firing squad. But a lot of the other stuff on this case that really is sickening is the fact that when she got off, her and the I guess it is a prosecuting or a defense investigator. She ended up hooking up with him, and now she's trying to be a investigator too. It's like, God, really?
Well, if she goes to work for the state to help solve crimes, you could almost call her a material witness, right? Subject expert.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, okay, the part that where she got convicted with falsifying information was the fact that she kept on saying that she worked at Disneyland or Disney World. She was in Orlando, so it was Disney World. She worked in Disney World. She took the cops for like an 8-hour walk around to find her office. They were like, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll try to find your office. Show us your office. Because Disney World HR department says she didn't work there. They didn't have any kind of evidence of her actually working there at all at any point in time.
right.
And the reason why she said she worked at Disney World was basically she was getting people off her back, saying whenever she would say, "Oh, have you found a job yet?" And she finally just caved and told them it was like, "I have a job at Disney World." That's why that Disney World reference ended up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they rode the rides. It's like, I mean, this is a sad and stupid thing and everything. Could you imagine? It's like, no, my office is over in the we had to take a small world. We had to drive in there. We get halfway in, they need to stop it, and I get out and I will go in and my office is behind the Mexican nationalities of small world. That's where my office is. There's a secret hatch door. She lied so much, it's plausible.
Yeah, it is. And I almost have to wonder at some point, did one of the one of the one of the trailing police officers that were out there walking around with her, that they had to have been thinking, one of them had to at least been prior military, and he was probably thinking to himself, we're fucking out here, so we might as well.
Yeah. I wonder if they did this whole if they walked around Disney World with the Disney with Mickey Mouse hats.
I got a pair of mouse ears and a badge, and I'm not afraid to use them.
Yeah, that is. I mean, as much as the silliness of what she thought was a good idea, it wouldn't surprise me if like why are these fucking cops running around with Mickey Mouse hats following this chick around? I mean, for 8 hours. For 8 hours.
I bet you for check the security camera footage of that escort and play it at like twice, times 2 speed.
Yeah.
It'd be like a reenactment of the end of one of the Benny Hill's episodes. You can almost see it.
Yeah, I could see that, but 8 hours of that filming and everything, top speed and doing that. Yeah, it would pretty much be 8 hours, yeah.
I mean, you could condense that down to probably 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, no, you gotta look. Is you speed up the is editing 101. Is you have to do it in a long period of time. Like, you don't get the people looking like they're running; they're actually walking
Yeah.
towards it and everything. And it take to speed up. And this is Film Pro X, because I did a speed a sped up a film, and it literally takes like a 5 minute thing, and you shorten it to like maybe about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting. But back to the case. Media covered this all to hell because they were trying to. It was one of those, oh, this mother is on trial for killing her kid, and we're gonna get a conviction, and it's like a letdown, a big time letdown. But because it took her 31 days to report her child missing, there are now laws, and like, I think you said there was one in Texas, but I know Florida has one, New York has one, uh, Tennessee, and another state, and I can't. Let me see here the aftermath.
Yeah. I mean, they called it in Florida. At least it's called Kaylee's Law.
Yeah,
And
Kaylee's Law. Yeah, West Virginia, New York, Florida, and Oklahoma. Texas adopted it, so that's 5 states. But
yeah,
if you do not report your child missing within 24 hours, and would also stipulate a time frame for notification of the disappearance of a young child under the age of 12. It's a felony if the parent or legal guardian fails to report the missing child in a timely manner. If they could have known the child would be in danger. So, yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
I
if
mean, it would kind of, in cases like that, would have helped people like Lacey Patterson's family,
yeah,
or Lacey Peterson, because her husband Scott, killed her. She was pregnant with their baby, and they didn't find her. He's playing the husband like, "Oh, I'm distraught," and then later on, come to find out, he's sitting there, chilling. And didn't he get involved in another relationship too? But like he killed his wife on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or something like that, and then dumped their body in a boat and sank it or something like that. And her remains washed up on shore like a couple of months later.
I've never heard of that case.
Scott Peterson, dude. Yeah, that would be another episode that we need to watch.
Yeah, we could
Or
look. We
another
could we could
film.
do that one. We could do that
But
next week.
anyway, so yeah,
But yeah,
I mean the Kaylee law. I mean, and it's sad that we even need laws like that because most normal parents should have that built-in sheepdog mentality whenever their kids are born. Like, this is a small that I'm in charge.
yeah, you're breaking up, and you're gonna have to repeat that again.
You know, really, it would have been the first right there. Is really the investigator for first
You're breaking up a
all
lot
of her
right now.
stuff. I mean, because she was active on that AOL Messenger, official Messenger, transcripts. Retired her past computer activities on here at 1:30 with AI space, and just so it just and it says poor connection. So yeah, we're breaking up. All right. So, anyways,
There we go.
um, it's I don't know. It's to me what should have been a watertight case
Yeah,
I mean, this falls, the fact that she walked off scot free completely and totally falls on the shoulders of the prosecution. And what prosecutors across the country need to do, instead of doing what most people do, that they fall guilty of going from one side of the pendulum to the other. They're like, okay, well, we didn't do enough, now we're doing too much. They need to find that medium, that cushion that's right there in the middle. And bless you. Um, so find that cushion right there in the middle where they're not overstepping their authority by being over intrusive with things like, I don't want to say wiretaps, but like, with violating a person's due process, obtaining legal warrants and things of that nature, because the whole we're going to do things in pursuant to a warrant thing, that opens yourself up for all kinds of litigation, all kinds of liabilities as a prosecutor, or even as a police department. And so I think that the prosecution just flat out screwed the pooch on this. Her defense team really didn't have a whole lot to do, because, the prosecution did most of the work for them as far as getting their client off.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they still had the father. What is his name? It was a weird name.
George. Casey Anthony's dad, or no, Kaylee's dad,
No.
right?
Yeah. He was
Yeah,
like
I think his name
Solon or some
was
shit like
or
that.
wait, I think his name was Dominic or something like that.
I'm looking for it right now. I put it in my notes, and apparently there we go. Zendela Gonzalez.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Uh,
But yeah,
Zanny. That was his name. But on June 16th, at the stairs of the specific apartment in Sawgrass apartment complex located in Orlando, I'll just say Zanny Gonzalez, who was listed on the apartment calls as having visited the apartment on that date, was questioned by police, but stated that she did. Oh, it was. I guess it was a babysitter or some sort. Her disinformation suit sought compensation and punitive damage, allying with that Casey willingly damaged her reputation. So
basically, so you're saying, excuse me, Casey Anthony filed a defamation lawsuit against the state of Florida, or the county that prosecuted her.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it was the babysitter. Gonzalez was the
Okay.
because Casey Anthony said that she was supposed to take care of Kaylee and didn't. So that's what happened on that. And Casey Anthony executed her Fifth Amendment right, blah blah blah. But it's just she tried. The reason why I hated this person so much is because 2 years beforehand, this is the same case with Ava Shaffer. Ava was the baby that the 18-month-old that I took care of for a while, and I talked to. I think I can say this now. It's been a while because he's already in jail and everything. But a friend of mine works for the police department, and his mother were me and her were friends, and me and the cop that he wasn't participating in the investigation, but he was giving me information, and he was saying, and this is the only thing he said was, I don't know what it is, but they're blaming each other. for killing the baby.
Yeah.
They did a 12 hours investigation. They even tried to blame it on the his brother. And I talked to his brother and everything. I hate to say anything right now, dude. And this is during the trial. I was like, you're his brother, right? And he's like, we're not gonna have a problem, are we? I was like, you do realize that he tried to throw you underneath the bus, right? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I know the investigators of the case, what they told me and everything, and they try to throw him underneath the bus. It's people like that just pissed me off to the point where it's like, not only did you do this horrible act, but you're trying your damnedest to get away with it. And that's most psychos and sociopaths, which is why we have the show and named it that way. But
Yeah.
most of those types of people, and we've seen this case in like Ted Bundy and other serial killers or killers in general, is they don't take credit for their doings and they try to get away with it, and they try to act like they're smarter than everybody else and they're going to get off on it, or
Yeah.
not like a physical off on it, but a
Like an
base.
adrenaline rush.
Yeah, they're trying to get out from going to jail, and they know in their head, because they have this delusion, they've lied so much they're even lying to themselves to the point to where, oh yeah, I'm gonna get off this case because and Casey Anthony got away with it, and I was so pissed off. I was like,
Yeah.
someone needs to drown that bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the prosecution, um, um,
Yeah, they could have done a better job.
um, I mean, he even went on the View, and he was like, "I want us everybody to get away from the perception that we overcharged this case," and it's like, no, no, you had it right. It was first degree murder, and they're talking, well, that all came down to the cause of death. Well, you sat there and let the DNA evidence degrade. The fact that she waited 31 days to report it didn't help, but they wasted more time by going after the dad when the parents should be, and I hate to say this, but sometimes the parents should be the first person you look at, especially if you wait 31 days. That is a red flag if I've ever heard of one.
Oh yeah,
They should have gone after her first. If they'd have gone after her first, that wouldn't have given her extra time to sterilize and scorch earth any evidence that they could have used against her, and that would have included obtaining her hard drives.
yeah,
So the prosecution screwed the pooch on this in a major league way, and the fact that she's out there running around trying to become a private investigator herself, the district attorney for that case has nobody but himself to blame, and he can sit there and try to misdirect all he wants. Fact of the matter is that he screwed up. He screwed up, and this it's not going to change the fact that this little girl died, but he could have helped set a precedent, and really not even so much the fact that make a name for himself, because he did make a name for himself, just not the name he wanted, but they could have really set a precedent on how to handle cases like that, and they didn't. He screwed the pooch, he knows it, and now he's trying to misdirect and deflect and spin it away from him, when at the end of the day, anybody that can read between the lines knows exactly who we need, and that's him. So, and now, unfortunately, Casey Anthony is now a protected citizen, because now she's afforded those protections of the law of like things like assault and retribution and things of that nature. So,
yeah. Because after the case, she just vanished, and they just found out where she was when she did. She applied for a investigation to be
Yeah,
an investigator,
right.
which it freaking appalls me.
It does.
But that's about it on this case. I just wanted to put people in the light of not on this person, but how to better protect their kids and everything like that. On and how something like this, a person can get away with it. But you have fun getting your cooking done and having fun down in Houston.
Yeah, we went to the Astros game last night. That was a pretty good time. Took the boys to the beach today. We're gonna go to Johnson Space Center tomorrow.
Okay.
Saturday we're gonna spend the most of the day out at the beach again on Saturday, and then we're gonna go to a cookout. I'm gonna get to meet most of the rest of her family, um, and then I think Sunday we might go to the beach again. But Monday, the boys and I are heading back into town, and so it all in all, it's been a really great trip. Just
Yeah,
I
on
got some
Tuesday.
I got some chicken to go grill, and I got a pineapple mango reduction sauce to go make for the chicken. So
Yeah, we'll get together on Tuesday. If anything, give you a day of rest when you get back, or Wednesday.
yeah, not a problem.
But we'll
And we
do.
stayed on track this time for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. We busted this out of the park. We gave it the 30 minutes that we needed. But
Yes, sir.
I'm Dave Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
Y'all take it easy and keep it safe out there, because there's
All right,
crazies
have
out
a good one.
there. All right, man. Take it easy.